What if there were whole worlds you didn't know existed that you could explore, could have you come alive, could have life take on whole new dimensions? Hi, this is Michael Skye. Welcome to the Free Man Challenge website. This is the first of many videos. I've already recorded a number of videos which you can find in our Free Man Challenge Facebook group. And I'm just inviting you into real life. I'm not taking time to professionally produce these videos, edit them. That's time from my life, and I'm inviting you to connect with me in reality as I'm really living, and not advertising and promoting some image that I then have to uphold and protect and keep safe and all of that nonsense. To me, that's not freedom. I want to live my life. I want to have authentic and real connections with other people. And so I started this video talking about new worlds to explore. And I want to ask a question starting out. What is freedom to you? What does freedom mean to you? In a political sense, in a financial sense, we have a lot of ways that we kind of already know what freedom is, right? Something really interesting to me is I've discovered on my journey in life that there's whole new realms of freedom that I never knew existed. And one of those is in relation to women. And I want to talk about that for a second, because it's also related to freedom, new dimensions of freedom as far as different cultures around the world. So I met a man in about 2007. He came to an event I was leading there. Really interesting guy. And the more I hung out with him, the more I realized this guy, he kind of lives in different worlds. He has access to ways of moving through the world, to ways of expressing himself, to ways of feeling alive, to different kind of doorways and openings to different cultures, and the ability to speak different languages fluently and to make things happen that I couldn't make happen. And I got really curious about this guy, and I started hanging out with him, and I started noticing things. And one of the things that he told me, or that he didn't tell me directly, but I started noticing how he would speak about a woman in his life, about how beautiful she was. And then I would come to meet this woman, and I would look at her, and I was like, because the image in my mind of beauty was one thing. And for example, it would be a really overweight, short Latina woman, for example. And over time I came to realize when he said beauty, he was talking about an experience he had in her presence, the way he felt, the way she made him come alive. And it was really interesting to me, because for me, beauty existed on this really narrow dimension. And oftentimes I would see a woman who fit my culture's idea of beauty and the customary idea of what beautiful is. And then I would not be aware of what I'm feeling in my body, and just I would want her, right? So I want to date her, I want to talk to her, I want to go out with her, I want to enjoy other experiences with her, right? And then I'm trying to go after what I want. But as I started paying attention to how I feel in the presence of different women, a whole new world opened up to me for women. I started, because there were openings in my body that were happening, and I experienced whole new levels of pleasure and eroticism and joy and feeling. What is feeling? It's a deeper sense of aliveness. When we feel something, anger, love, desire, it's a signal that we're alive, right? And what I've noticed as I traveled is that just like every woman can have you feel different in her presence. The same thing with every culture. Every culture tends to highlight certain things about life, certain values, certain things are permitted and not permitted, you can feel different feelings to different degrees, and beyond that you get a look like, well, that's not okay here, you know, that kind of shame look that primates have, right? That apes, you know, hairy apes and hairless apes. My friend would always refer to humans as hairless apes, which I found really interesting because, you know, when you start thinking about humans in not an idealistic sense as like spiritual beings having a human experience, but just, you know, as primates, as social animals. Kind of a topic for another video, but let me get back to what I was saying about, now here I'm just in a cafe where I often come and enjoy a cappuccino, get some work done. I'm working right now on this free manchallenge.com project I'm going to be telling you a lot about. But I just want to continue here with, you know, different cultures, they invite you to different things. My first time in Africa, I felt so alive around the people. They had a capacity for joy. When they would laugh, it would be all the way through their body. And the more I was there, the more I started to take that on, and my laughter was like bigger, and my body's vibrating, and I'm expressing myself more fully. And so every different culture can have you come alive in whole new ways. There's so many ways that life in the Western world is becoming really kind of static and cookie cutter and, you know, bureaucratic and homogenous, and the invitations to be alive and free and fully expressed are smaller and smaller, narrower and narrower. And so it's one of the joys I experience as I travel. And, you know, another thing I've experienced as I travel is so many men who are living international lifestyles are living in ways I never could have imagined. And while I'm titling this video Lifestyles of Free Men, rather than leave you with like an answer about what that is, I want to leave you with a question, with a curiosity. You know, because the question is kind of closed-ended. Okay, here's these free men lifestyles that maybe you knew about or didn't know about, and then that's it, that's done. I think it's a much bigger gift to leave you with a question. But if you've had this sense, like, I want to live my life, I want to live free, I want to explore, I want to be on an adventure. There are men in the world who are living lives that go beyond men you've ever met before in your culture, that go beyond what you see on the television, that go beyond the people who are blogging and the people who you think have interesting lives. Think of the most interesting man that you know, besides the guy on the beer commercial, right? The Dos Equis man. I want you to meet some of these men, because it's when you meet them, you spend some time with them, maybe you travel with them, whole new possibilities open up for what's possible for you living free. Same thing with experiencing living in new cultures, not just traveling like a tourist for a short period of time, having a cookie cutter experience, staying in the normal Western hotels and signing up for the tourist packages, but traveling deeper, like with a one-way ticket. This is what I'm challenging men to do with the Free Man Challenge, by the way. Get a 1-month ticket, get away for it, get a one-way ticket, get away for at least a month, and see if you can stay gone. See how long you can stay gone, and just explore. Relax, let go, and feel the different invitations that culture is making to you, that the women of that culture are making to you, that men who are free men traveling, what the invitation that just being with them makes to you. Oh wow, like, I'm feeling called to kind of explore living like that man's living. I want that for you. And I'm going to challenge you to win your freedom so you can come and experience these other doorways to lives and worlds that you may never realize existed, that I never knew existed until I met the man that I told you about, and until I started noticing how I felt in the presence of different women and then of different cultures. So before I close this video, I'll just tell you one thing about my life, my lifestyle. One of the coolest things that I enjoy is as I travel, I connect really deeply with people, and I make the place my home, and I get to feel what it's like to live there for months at a time, and then I always go back, so the people there know that I'm a part of their life, I'm not just passing through. And I have so many different countries and cultures now where I feel like it's a second home for me, a third home, a fourth home, a fifth home. And there's women that are drawn to me, that are waiting there, that'll be eager to receive me. There's good friends, there's business opportunities, there's adventures waiting to be had. And when it starts getting really cold somewhere, or, I don't know, life is getting boring somewhere, I start having a longing for home. But it might be my home in Thailand, or it might be my home in East Africa, or it might be one of my homes in Brazil or South America. And I just get a one-way ticket and I go. And then people greet me. Michael's home, Michael's here, and we celebrate. And life is beautiful. And that's a brief snippet of my lifestyle. But I welcome you to get curious about different lifestyles of free men. Come and meet those men. I want you to come in and experience some of my homes. And I'm going to invite you to some of my homes around the world. I want this for you. So I welcome you to stay tuned, stay in touch, connect with us in the Free Man Challenge Facebook group. There's more videos. I'm going to be going live on Facebook at different times so we can connect. And you can win your freedom. Freedom meaning lives and worlds you never knew existed. But you are going to have to fight for it, to pay attention to your reality, to fight to open up those new worlds, and to cut loose from the things that have you addicted, distracted, and in a cultural trance. You're going to have to fight, but I'm here to fight with you as your ally. So stay connected.